good stories at the center have great complex characters that you can relate to and that you really just enjoy reading about. They might not always make the right choices. They might not always be, someone that you're rooting for, but they have layers to them and at their core they feel relatable and real. I think that's kind of the way to kind of craft stories is to have people that characters that feel like people and feel real and like someone you might actually know. So I think that's really like kind of where I start with all of my stories is kind of making all the characters into as well-rounded of figures as I can possibly they can be. Typically, like the characters do change from when I write out like a character concept, and then in the script they kind of evolved because like sometimes, like I'll be writing something and it's kind of like voices, like people are talking to you in a way, like it's a bit bananas where it's just like, no, no, this isn't something I would say. This isn't something I would do. So you have to kind of like go against your outline and be like, you're right. Like Hannah would do something more like this, uh so I guess like more personality changes come from actually writing the script for me rather than um changing because of like the art, if that makes sense. Kind of a little bit of both, I guess. So typically speaking, when I first started, someday I will release these into the wild. I will take photos of them. But I used to like fully script, like I would write everything out, but then I'd have to then also type everything out and it was just creating more work for myself. So I do find, I think, and process better when I'm physically writing in a notebook or something. I find myself more engaged and I'm more likely to write out, if I'm brainstorming, for instance, like I'm more likely to write every single thought that comes to my head and just kind of like word vomit it onto the page to kind of deal with later. Whereas like if I'm typing, like I have time to second guess myself. Like I'm like, you know, uh, just kind of like backtrack and be like, I don't know, I don't like this. But like it's physically down on the paper and I can't erase it if I'm writing in pen. So I love to brainstorm in a notebook. I love to do outlines in a notebook too, because like I can write in the margins and ask myself questions all the time. I'm just like, does this make sense? Is there a better like motive for this character? Is this ending satisfying? So like I really kind of enjoy that process of just again word vomiting onto a page and processing things that way and then kind of cleaning it up and putting it into like Google Docs or Word or whatever. So I use a little bit of both, but primarily for like scripting and stuff like that, I do mostly nowadays use my computer.